y'all, welcome. Today I thought we would go through some of the AI tools that Premiere has given us access to, and we can talk about how great they are, and we can also talk about whether you need to kind of tinker with them after you use them. And if you're new here, then welcome. My name is Adrienne, and I make tutorials on video editing. If you'd like some additional free editing tips, I have a link in the description box down below. And otherwise, let's get into it. The first tool that we're going to talk about is text-based editing. I have another video that goes pretty in-depth into text-based editing, and I'll link it up above. But just to go over it briefly here, you can see that I've got my project open. I have my footage on the timeline, and now I want you to go up to Premiere, down to Settings, Transcription, and then automatically transcribe clips. When you have the transcript of your video open, instead of having to scrub through everything on the timeline, all you have to do is read this basically Word document, and then you can make your edits from there. You can see that as you cut stuff out of the transcript, it's also cut out on the timeline. And as you move through the transcript, the playhead is also moving on the timeline with you, which is pretty cool. Now, if you right-click on the transcript, you can see some additional editing options. Something else that's pretty cool is you can go up to these three dots and click, and then check Detect Filler Words. Now, if you go over to this thing that looks kind of like a funnel in the upper left-hand corner and click that, then you can select filler words, and then when you click Delete, you can choose Extract or Lift. So now Premiere is going to go through and find all the ums and uhs, all these words that you don't want to have in your finished video. And then you can choose to extract them, which will delete those filler words and then ripple delete on the timeline. Or you can choose Lift, which deletes the filler words but leaves the gaps on the timeline. Something else that you can do is search for a word, and then you can actually replace it with a different word. Something else that I find really helpful is if you click on these three dots again, you can check Show All the Pauses. Then you can go over to the transcript and delete all of those pauses. And again, it will ripple delete on the timeline for you. Text-based editing in no way replaces learning how to edit video, but you can use it as a tool. I like to use it when I'm doing my first pass over raw footage, and it makes that first pass go much faster. The next AI tool that Premiere has given us to use is called the Remix tool. The Remix tool is really cool. I use it all the time. You can use it to either shorten a song or make a song longer in your edit. And I promise you will not hear any hint that that song is not originally that length. It's phenomenal. I have a longer tutorial on that tool, and I'll leave it linked up above as well. Next up, we have something called ducking. This is when you have your dialogue at a particular decibel, and then you have your music at a particular decibel. Ducking means you're going to bring your music down when the dialogue is going, and then when there's a pause in the dialogue, your music can come up, and then it goes back down when dialogue starts happening again. Now, Premiere has ducking in the Essential Sound panel. You can see here that you have duck against, sensitivity, amount, fade duration, fade position, and then you click Generate Keyframes. Of course, with all AI tools, it's important for you to use them and then double check them. But this is a tool where I think it's really important for you to actually listen to what you've done and then tweak it in order to make it perfect. Another one of those AI tools where it's really important for you to listen to make sure you like what you've done is the Enhance Speech button. That's something that I actually used to use a lot in my YouTube videos, and something changed, and I don't like how I sound using it, so I actually don't use it anymore. I really recommend you trying it. Click that button, see what it does. If you don't like it, try to make tweaks in the Essential Sound panel, but also don't feel tied to it. Don't feel like it has to be the sound that you wind up using. Next up, we have something called scene edit detection. What if you have an old project and you would like to revisit it, maybe re-edit it, but you have lost all of the original footage? Your hard drive fell in the ocean, but luckily you still have the final edit. All you have to do is take that final video that you have, import it into your project, and then drag it onto the timeline. After that, you right-click, go down to Scene Edit Detection, and you can see here, this box is checked. Premiere is going to analyze this clip and make a cut at every detected cut for you. And then you'll be able to re-edit your project from there. Another AI tool that I just started using is pretty cool, and it works really well for those of you out there who either record footage in landscape and then you want to edit it for social media, or maybe you're doing YouTube videos like this and then you want to take clips of that to upload to YouTube Shorts or maybe onto Instagram, but you need to change your aspect ratio. Here's what you do. I want you to take your uploaded clip and drag it onto the timeline, then go up to sequence and down to auto reframe sequence. And then from there, it's really important that you select your new aspect ratio for where you're going to be uploading to. And you can see Premiere does the resizing for you. Finally, let's talk about color correction. There is an AI tool for color correction. If you open up the Lumetri color panel, you will see auto. I really like using this tool. I think it gives me a really nice starting point. I always click that auto button, and then I always go into the white balance eyedropper and use that to correct what auto did for me. And then I look at my scopes and I go from there. And that's it for me. Those are a few AI tools that I use when I'm doing my edits. I think they're big time savers. I think you really need to double check what Premiere does for you to make sure it's exactly the way you want. A lot of these AI tools do have options for fine-tuning what Premiere has done for us. It's so important for you to use those. If there are any other new tools that you happen to use out there, please share in the comments below. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Give this video a thumbs up if you thought it was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Ripple delete. One more motherfucking time. Hey y'all, welcome. Oh, wait a second.